Okay, time for more riddles, the Parents Edition. There are 3 categories of questions: easy, which award 1 point each, average for 2 points, and hard for 3 points. We're going to start with the easy ones. Remember, every correct answer gives you 1 point. Jason and Steven are home alone with their kids. Jason is talking to his mother, and Steven is watching a baseball game on the TV. Who's being negligent? Jason. Although both babies might fall out the window and both dads should watch out, Jason's baby is on the higher floor. Whoops. Mila and Gregor cook dinner for their kids. Which one of them is, the most confused? Mila. She accidentally mixed up the plates. She gave the dog her daughter's food and is about to feed her daughter dog food. Yum. Sabrina and her son went to the mountains to spend the day sliding. Adam is barbecuing in the backyard while watching his daughter. Who's not watching their child properly? Sabrina. Her son is sliding right into a big hole in the ice. Rebecca and Natalie took their kids to the lake. The boys are about to jump from the cliff. Whose child is in danger? Natalie's. There's rocks under the cliff her son is about to jump from. Megan and Rachel were cleaning their kids' rooms. Rachel noticed her son's phone and decided to check it, and Rachel found her daughter's diary. Who's in trouble? Rachel. It's bad to read a child's personal things, but she's also going to be busted because her daughter is about to walk into the room. Mary and her son are spending time on the beach. Chris and his children are watching a TV. Which parent is doing something wrong? Mary. It's dangerous for anyone to be in the water during thunderstorms. Now we're moving to harder questions. Every correct answer awards 2 points. Meredith is teaching her daughter to do her makeup. Beverly is teaching her teenager to style her hair. Which mom is doing something wrong? Beverly. The hair straightener isn't plugged in. Nicole and Diana are spending time with their kids. Nicole is reading to her son, and Diana is watching cartoons with her daughter. Who is not behaving wisely? Nicole. She forgot about the food that she's cooking in the oven, and it's burning. So it's going to be takeout tonight. Bradley and Ryan's sons are blamed for painting a face on a neighbor's fence. Both boys denied doing it, and both fathers believe their sons. Who's been misled? Ryan. His son still has green paint on his hands that he couldn't properly wash off. Jennifer went for a walk with her son, but she got distracted talking on the phone. Mark left his daughter in a closed car while he entered a store to buy garden tools. Who has made a bigger mistake? Mark. It's dangerous to leave people or animals in a closed car, especially in the heat, when the car warms up very fast and there's a lack of fresh air inside. Brian is teaching his teen son how to drive, and Nancy is cooking a dinner with her daughter. Who isn't being wise? Brian. Nancy's daughter seems to be old enough to cut an apple, especially under supervision, but Brian can't control all of his son's actions in the car. Martha and her son went to the jungle, and she stopped to take some selfies. Peter took his son camping, and he's setting up the tent while his son is trying to light a fire. Who's not being smart? Martha. Her baby is approaching a snake that can be venomous. Melissa and Stephanie are doing chores. Melissa is handling the laundry, and Stephanie is cleaning the kitchen. Who should be more careful? Stephanie. Her daughter put her cell phone in a dishwasher. Tiffany and Michael's sons came back home after a study evening at their friend's house. Neither parents are suspicious. However, someone's son wasn't studying tonight. Who overlooked a party guy? Tiffany. Her son has a lipstick stain on his collar. Jack and Vivian took their kids to school. Now Jack is walking to work and Vivian is driving to a store. Who forgot something? Jack. He's still wearing his daughter's pink school backpack. Looking good, Jack. Charles and Penelope cooked breakfast for their kids. Which parent probably didn't get much sleep the previous night? Penelope. She gave her daughter a raw potato and didn't even peel it. Sandra is doing gardening with her daughter. George is watching his child swimming in a pool. Who's being stupid? George. He fell asleep and left his son in the pool unsupervised. What's more, the boy took off his armbands and can drown. Uh-oh. Elizabeth and John's daughters came home. They said they were doing a group science project, and both parents believed their daughters. Who didn't detect a lie? John. His daughter is wearing a sweater on a hot day, so she could be hiding something. Jessica and Aaron cooked a dinner for their families. Jessica cooked Thai soup, and Aaron made mashed potatoes. Who is a bad cook? Jessica. Her daughter poured her soup in a flower pot. Travis didn't let his daughter go to her friend's birthday party and told her to do her homework all day. Christina's son had to spend the day in his bedroom too, instead of going to the movies. When the teenagers came down to dinner at 7 o'clock, which parent didn't notice they're being lied to? Travis. It's raining and his daughter has wet hair. It means she was outside and not sitting in her bedroom. And finally, the hardest questions for 3 points each. Dustin is cooking dinner with his daughter. Joseph is mowing the lawn while his child is playing nearby. Who isn't smart? Joseph. Lawnmowers are very dangerous machines and should never be used if there are kids around. Sean is teaching his little son how to chop wood. Camilla is listening to music and washing the dishes while her baby is sleeping upstairs. Who's making a mistake? Camilla. The music is too loud, and she won't hear if her son wakes up and cries. Brandon and Daniel are watching their kids playing in the backyard. Who's not being wise? Daniel. His son is playing in the sunshine without a hat on and might get sunstroke. Pamela is getting ready for the meeting with her son's teacher at 12 o'clock. William is driving his son to a birthday party. Who isn't very attentive? Pamela. She must have confused the time. The meeting was at 12 o'clock, but it's already 1:30. Thomas is reading a newspaper while watching his son. Molly is talking on the phone while dinner is cooking in the oven. Who should rethink their actions? Molly. She forgot to turn on the oven. Samantha and Bob are sending their kids on a school field trip. Which of the parents forgot to do something? Bob. Why is he holding his son's lunch? The kid is not eating today. Sum up your points to check your results. If you got 25 points or less, you scored below average. But don't worry, check some of our other riddles to train for the next time. If you got 26 to 45, you have an average result. Keep it up. If you got between 46 to 60 points, you have an above-average result and you definitely are a riddles master. And finally, if you have 61 or more, you're a real genius. Or you're on your second or third time watching this video. Come on, fess up. You open your eyes and find yourself handcuffed in a small, dark room. Your sister is not with you, although you clearly remember walking outside together in the rain. Well, it seems you were kidnapped and now have to get out. You have to solve some riddles to escape, and each time you'll have 10 seconds to think. Are you ready? First, how about getting rid of these handcuffs? You turn around and see 3 buttons on the wall, a red one, a yellow one, and a green one. One of them will set you free. But if you choose the wrong button, sirens will sound. But, lucky you, there's a note on the wall saying TDUNORTEB. Decide which button you should press. Since you put the letters in the right order, you'll get the red button. Since only one button releases you and the other 2 are traps, the sign indicates the one that will set you free. You press the red button and the handcuffs fall off. Whew! The first step is complete, but there's more to go. You'll have to find your sister, release her, and then find a way out. You search for the exit, but there are 3 doors, so you look through the peepholes to decide which route to take. Behind one door, many little robots are poised to attack. Behind the second door, there's a room on fire. And behind the last one, you find a room completely filled with water. Which one should you pick to stay safe? The first one. Although there are robots, they're still super small and probably can't cause you much harm. Well, at least definitely less than the fire or water. So you take a deep breath and with your heart skipping a beat, you enter the first room. The robots attack you, but the first one has a giant red button you step on and it turns them off. The second one you kick really hard and it smashes, hitting the wall. Half a minute later, you're already outside the room, safe and sound, all body parts intact. Success! But what if the robot sent a signal to the people who kidnapped you? You have to hurry. You move forward, crossing the corridor, and here it is again. 3 doors, and you have to decide which one to pick. Think carefully for 10 seconds. It can save you a ton of time if you go the right way from the very beginning. So, which way should you go? The third door. There's a red finger stains on the doorway. Your sister must have been trying hard to break out. You take that door and find yourself in a narrow hallway. You can see the stains here and make absolutely sure you're going in the right direction. You run for about 20 minutes, continually taking turns. You start feeling a little dizzy, but still can't see an end to this hallway. Another 5 minutes pass. You take another turn and suddenly crash into a metallic door. You try to open it, but it's locked. On a little screen, a red sign appears, asking for a password. Below, there's even a password hint: 12345678. Can you crack the code? There are 17 spaces. After reading the number out loud slowly, you get it. You type number 2, then number 4 3 times, 5 6s, and 7 8s. The light changes to green, and the door is unlocked. You're in a long and gloomy metal corridor. You want to run, but you force yourself to stay quiet. You're getting close, and you're trying to be as careful and silent as possible. But when you suddenly face a huge and gloomy man standing in front of the next door, your heart drops. You want to run away, but you freeze just right where you are. He's definitely noticed you. You stand speechless, expecting him to grab and handcuff you or knock you unconscious. But instead, he asks, "Where are you going?" You don't know why, but you tell the truth. "I want to find my sister. She's 17, blonde." "Ah, I've seen her," the man says. "She's in this room. They always ignore me and never want to solve my riddles. If you solve one of my riddles, I'll let you go." You feel such a relief that you can only nod in response. What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? A very poetic riddle, but pretty straightforward. It's the letter M. The man smiles and moves to the side, letting you go. You run into the room. Finally, there's your sister. She has her arms and legs tied, and her mouth is sealed. But then, you look around and see 2 more of your sisters looking precisely the same. It's another trap. You have to decide which sister is the real one, and if you touch the wrong person, the sirens will sound. Can you choose the right sister? Before your sister was kidnapped, you were outside in the rain together. Your sister is the one with the smeared mascara. You reach the girl right in front of you, and the look of relief on her face immediately proves you made the right choice. You untie her hands and legs, unseal her mouth, and she gives you a hug. You grab her hand and you leave the room together. But here's the riddle man again, and you'll have to solve another one of his riddles. Well, now you have 2 brains instead of 1. Ready? When you take the whole from me, there's still some left. What am I? Both you and your sister answer wholesome. The man smiles again and lets you go. Now you have to find the exit, and you have no idea where to go. You randomly take turns, and in the end, you get lost in the building's labyrinth. After half an hour of wandering around, you realize that you've been going around in circles. You admit that you're lost and can't find a way out. Suddenly, from each of the 3 directions before you, a man appears. Each man says he was kidnapped too, but escaped and will show you the exit, while the other 2 men are guardians and will lead you back to your kidnappers. Who should you trust? You notice that the second man has bruises from the handcuffs on his arms, so you decide to believe him. You look at your sister and realize that she noticed it too. You nod, and each of you walks towards one of the other two, and unexpectedly for them, knock them out. The man gives you thumbs up and tells you to follow him. You're back in the labyrinth again, taking turns over and over. Does he really know where to go? How much time did he spend here? You even start worrying if you made the right choice, but then you bump into a massive metal door. To open it, you need to enter the password. But lucky you, there's a hint again. The note is saying 5th of March, 1st of October, 2nd of April, 4th of November. That's why the man was wandering around looking for someone. He couldn't crack the code. Can you? The 5th of March means the fifth letter of the word March, which is H. Similarly, the first letter of October is O, the 2nd of April is P, and the 4th of November is E. The password is HOPE. You type it, and yes, it works! Great job! The lock clicks, and you pull the heavy door open. You did it! You are outside once more. It's early morning, so you spent the whole night inside. But wait, can you hear it? Footsteps! They're after you, and you have to run to a safe place immediately. There are 3 ways. On the left, there's a dark forest. Straight, there's a city. And on the right, a lake. Which way will you choose? You should definitely run straight to the city where there are people around. So, what are you waiting for? Run! Richard had a collection of beautiful paintings. One day, while he was away, his favorite one got stolen. The police suspected one of Richard's neighbors. Nicole said she had been out of town. She returned home just an hour ago and was so tired after a long drive that she immediately went to bed. Dennis said he had been getting ready to paint his house, but since it didn't seem the rain would stop anytime soon, he went to the movies instead. Julie answered her sister had been feeling unwell. That's why Julie was busy looking after her little nephew. Who was lying? It was Nicole. It had been raining for the whole day. If the woman had returned home just an hour ago, the road under her car would be wet. A wealthy businessman had 2 sons, Gary and Jeffrey. The loving father doted on his boys, but unfortunately, he had a lot of enemies who often threatened to harm his sons. One day, Gary was rushed to a hospital. He had been poisoned. Jeffrey, scared out of his mind, but feeling okay, went with his brother. When the businessman arrived, he asked Jeffrey what had happened. "We were playing soccer and got awfully thirsty. Some man gave each of us a bottle of water and we drank it all. But then, how come Gary is in a hospital bed, poisoned, while Jeffrey is fine?" The water the boys drank was okay. The poison covered the bottlenecks. Unlike Gary, Jeffrey didn't touch his bottle with his lips while drinking. Kyle has been caught by a mad professor and locked in a room with only one door and no windows. Is the scientist going to experiment on the poor guy? Kyle has to get out of there as soon as possible. After searching the room, he finds 4 keys. On the door, there are 4 keyholes with a number under each of them. Kyle has to match the keys and keyholes, and there's hardly any time left. The professor's car has just stopped near the house. The digits on the door match the number of the angles the geometric shapes on the keys have. 3 people were stopped at the security check of an international airport. They were suspected of smuggling different stuff out of the country. The first man was heading for a beach resort. In his suitcase, there were a lot of things needed at the seaside: an umbrella, a pair of sunglasses, sunscreen, and a beach towel. The second man had a cage with 3 colorful birds and a pet carrier with a family of hamsters. He had all the necessary papers. The third man was traveling for business. In his bag, he had a suit, some documents, a toothbrush and toothpaste, and a bottle of expensive shampoo. Who's the smuggler? It's the third guy. He's bald. Why would he need shampoo? Young fashion designer Robert was preparing for his first show. He was excited and a bit anxious, so he took a break to steady his nerves in a quiet corner. But when it was time for him to present his collection, he was nowhere to be found. In an hour or so, a security guard saw him in the bathroom, lying on the floor. Someone had hit him on the head. The police had 3 suspects. Maya, one of the models, said she had had problems with her dress. "I didn't even have time to leave the dressing room." Catherine, one of the guests, answered she was Robert's huge fan. "I've been wearing his clothes for years. Why would I hit him?" Sam, the designer's assistant, said he had rushed to the nearest coffee shop to get Robert an Americano to calm him down. Can you figure out the culprit? It was Catherine. That day, it was Robert's first show. Then how could she be wearing his clothes for years? Ethan and his girlfriend Anne went to explore a cave and got lost. After some time, they came across 2 people, a man and a woman. The man, bearded and rough-looking, had a shovel in his hands. "I've been stuck here for a week. I know how to get to the surface, but I need your help. Come with me." The young woman exclaimed, "Don't trust him. He's a criminal. Follow me. I've been here longer than him. I know where the exit is." Who should the guys believe? Ethan and Anne decided to follow the man. If the girl had been in the cave for more than a week, why does she look so tidy and has fresh flowers in her hair? Mickey wakes up locked in a basement. The guy has no idea how he got there, probably through a hatch in the ceiling. There are also 3 doors leading out of the room. Behind the first one, there's a deep pit with metal spikes at the bottom. The second door leads to a lake with hungry piranhas. And behind the third door, there are crocodiles. Suddenly, the room starts to fill with water. Which door should Mickey choose to escape? He should pick the first door. Once the pit is filled with water, the guy will be able to swim over the spikes. Adam's car has gotten broken right in the middle of a deserted forest road. But the worst thing? It's winter, snowdrifts are huge, and the wind is freezing cold. Adam has to get to the nearest town, and fast. But if he follows the first path, he'll have to deal with hungry wolves. The second goes through the area inhabited by bears. And if he takes the second road, he'll have to cross a river covered with thin ice. Which is the safest way? Adam should sneak through the bears' territory. These animals sleep in the winter. Lauren has cooked 10 buckets of chicken wings for a family gathering, 1 for each guest. But later, it turns out little Jimmy has been left without his portion. Someone has taken 2 buckets. Is it Uncle Patrick? He looks suspicious. Or maybe Lauren's son Justin. He's wearing this creepy, knowing smile. Or could little Jimmy himself hide his chicken wings in his bag with toys to get another portion? Look at the dog. It wouldn't leave Uncle Patrick's side. It can smell the meat the man has hidden. Look at these 2 girls and their fridges. One of them has never had enough money until recently, when she won the lottery. Which girl is that? It's the girl on the left. High heels, a flashy dress, and a fridge filled to the brim. She looks like a person who has finally managed to get their hands on some big money. Lisa was a millionaire's daughter. She was fed up with her dad trying to control her life. After he told her one day he'd found a fiancé for her, she decided to run away from home. She took enough money and the most discreet car she could find in the garage and left. The girl knew her father would send his people to bring her back. That's why she never stayed in one hotel for more than one night. One day, she found herself in a small town. It was getting dark, and she had no choice but to stop at the first hotel she saw. The receptionist said her room number was 710 and offered to show her where it was. Lisa immediately grabbed her bag, ran out of the hotel, jumped in the car, and sped away. Why? The first digit of a hotel room number usually means the floor it's on. Room 710 is supposed to be on the 7th floor, but the hotel only has 2 floors. A little girl walks through the park and spots a hungry cat. She decides to share her sandwich with the poor animal. Unfortunately, there's a stream between her and the kitty. She squats down to attract the cat's attention and shows it the food. In no time, the animal is next to her. There's no bridge over the stream, and the cat isn't soaked. How is it possible? It's winter, and the stream's frozen. So, how well do you know the world's most famous landmarks? Really? Take our visual memory test and check it. Please keep the score of the answers and let us know how many landmarks you guessed right. Millions of people visit Paris every year to see the famous landmark. But did you know that Parisians, especially the artists, rejected the tower's construction back then? They even started a petition against it. They believed the building was going to spoil the view of the city, saying it doesn't reflect the French taste. Speaking of French taste, countries around the world liked it apparently. The tower's construction was finished in 1889. Since then, dozens of replicas have been constructed worldwide. The Statue of Liberty has 305 replicas. The Eiffel Tower follows its fame. Where is the real Eiffel Tower, and where is its replica? The one on the left is the real Eiffel Tower. The picture on the right is taken in Prague, Czech Republic. It is the famous Petrin Lookout Tower. Citizens were influenced by the Eiffel Tower and built the Petrin Lookout Tower only 2 years after Eiffel Tower's construction. It has 299 steps. Plus, it was a signal provider for quite some time until another television tower opened. This practical use differentiates it from nearly all the other replicas. Now, the Eiffel Tower is a technical and architectural success, yet it was meant to last only 20 years. Look at it now. It underwent construction, but remember what I told you about its replicas? Where is the next fake Eiffel Tower? Okay, this one is fake. The one on the left is from Canada. It is a successful replica. Would you visit it if you were in Canada, or prefer to see the original one? Eiffel Tower at night. Pick the real one. The world is not as it seems. The one on the left is in Durango, Mexico. This one is on the right. It is outside Slobozia in Romania. This replica is about 177 feet, whereas the original Eiffel Tower is over 1,000 feet. The real Eiffel Tower is on the right. The left one is a replica in Las Vegas. It is one of the closest ones to the actual tower. Suppose you fancy having a little more Parisian vibe. In that case, you can see the image of the Paris Opera or Louvre Museum nearby. Yet you cannot admire the actual painting of the Mona Lisa in Vegas. Moving on to Italy. Which one is the real Trevi Fountain? Yep, the left one. The Trevi Fountain is in Rome. You know, the one in which millions of tourists throw coins every year? The fountain is a lofty 85 feet tall and 65 feet wide. The replica is again in Vegas. Vegas sure likes to have a lot of famous European stuff around. This imitation is much more miniature, but has a good deal of resemblance with the real one. It has become a tourist spot as the one in Italy. Spot the fake Golden Gate Bridge. The one on the right is the actual bridge. It was the world's longest and tallest bridge at its time. Even though the left one resembles the Golden Gate Bridge, it is actually in Portugal's capital, Lisbon. This suspension bridge is a well-known landmark in the city. An American company was the primary contractor of the bridge. Maybe that's why both bridges look alike. The mysterious Stonehenge from the UK. Which one is real? The one on the left is real. The one on the right is from Virginia. A facsimile of the ancient site called Foamhenge, a full-scale replica made from, you guessed it, styrofoam. Leaving the mysterious Stonehenge behind, we go to a temple on the Athenian Acropolis in Greece. Back then, people constructed it from marble, unlike the imitation one made from concrete. Which one is the actual Parthenon? Yep, the left side. Centuries later, a full-size replica of the Parthenon is built. Where? In Centennial Park, Nashville, Tennessee. Is this one also dedicated to Athena? This one dates back to 1897. 19th century copycat is still a bit older, considering youngster copycats of other landmarks. Taj Mahal. 20,000 people and over 20 years of construction. This structure in India is counted as one of the new 7 wonders of the world. And yes, the story gives you chills. Emperor Shah Jahan ordered this construction after his wife passed, from 1653 to our day. Can you guess which one is the actual Taj Mahal? I'll move you to the right side. The actual palace is made from marble by the people. The fake model of the Taj Mahal has bricks. The replica is in Malaysia. It's like a mini model of the real one, but from bricks. The Rialto Bridge in Venice, Italy. It is the oldest and probably the most famous bridge in Venice's Grand Canal. Can you spot the real one? Left, pick the left. Ah, bellissima! It was completed in 1591, a Renaissance landmark. The original bridge has been rebuilt several times since its first construction. The current version has 3 walkways. 2 of them have outer banisters. The last one is wider, and it's the central walkway accompanied by 2 rows of small shops for the tourists. Yet again, there's a modern version in Las Vegas. You can even have a canal tour with a gondola. So, which one is real? The one on the right side. One of Italy's most visited attractions is the Leaning Tower of Pisa, made out of marble. The construction of the landmark took nearly 200 years to complete. The architect, Bonanno Pisano, was so embarrassed by it, he faded into obscurity, never knowing what a marvel it would become years later. Meanwhile, its duplicate stands in Illinois. May I present the Leaning Tower of Niles? Almost like a mirror image, huh? There are vast differences, though. Unlike the genuine Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Leaning Tower of Niles is half the size of the original. It is made from concrete, and people didn't spend 2 centuries building it. Now, for extra credit, can you guess what favorite food is served at both these tilting structures? That's right, lean cuisine. Okay, let's continue with another iconic landmark of Italy. Which one of these is the real Colosseum? The one on the left? The Colosseum is an area in the city of Rome. Interesting fact time. Did you know that Colosseum is the largest ancient amphitheater ever built? It also protects this fame by being the largest standing amphitheater in the world today. The bulging stadium had 80 entrances. It's made of stone and concrete. Almost 2/3 of the Colosseum has been lost over time, probably because of people's behaviors and natural causes. It is a tourist site that attracts lots and lots of people every year. The fake Colosseum enjoys its fame too. The picture on the right is also called the Colosseum. It's located at the buzzing part of the Las Vegas Strip at Caesar's Palace. It's a huge venue hosting performances. It has room for over 4,000 people, but isn't as big as the original. This one welcomed people such as Cher and Celine Dion in the past. Do you remember I mentioned the fake Trevi Fountain? Well, those 2 fake landmarks, the Trevi Fountain and the Colosseum, are really close to each other in Las Vegas. Okay, here's the last chance to raise your score on this quiz. Which one of these is the real Arc de Triomphe? Yes, the one on the left. If you look closely at the other picture, you might see that this replica is smaller than it was supposed to be. It's because the second one is not a full-size replica. It might be tricky to spot with all the tall buildings around, but a careful eye might catch it. It's one of the well-known monuments in Paris, France, standing at the heart of the Champs-Élysées. The real Arc de Triomphe stays at the Champs-Élysées. The fake arc is located in… where else? Las Vegas. Okay, tally up your score and show me in the comments.
Kentucky Fried Chicken was founded in 1930. It's been around for 92 years, but can you tell which one of these logos is the correct one? Yes, here's the one. What about Pringles? What's the correct logo? This one right here. Costco logo. What's your guess? You got it. Next up, Taco Bell. What's the correct logo? It's this one. Oreo is the best-selling cookie brand in the whole world. Do you think you can find the correct logo here? Okay, that was easy. It's this one. Doritos. Right or left? Yep, it's the left one. Haribo is a German brand, and it's 101 years old, so it's older than KFC. You see it all the time on your gummy bears packs. Find the correct logo now. Here it is. Burger King, or as it's known in Australia, Hungry Jack's. Yeah, copyright laws made them change the name, but the question is, where is the one? Found it! A lot of people love them, and you're probably one of them. But do you know the logo well enough? It's this one with a silhouette. Definitely makes it cooler. Fanta isn't even in the top 15 best-selling soda drinks, but you can't deny that it's famous, so what's the correct logo? Here it is. A place where you can literally get anything. So find the right store to go to. Yes, of course, it's this one. What's the correct Wendy's logo? This one, right! Did you know that NASA is short for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration? Good for you, but what's their correct logo? It's this one. I'm having some hardcore flashbacks here. Sesame Street has been running since 1969, so it's been around since your parents were little. We know it all too well, but what is the correct logo? It's this one, 123 Sesame Street. Very easy to remember. What is the correct Ralph Lauren logo? You got it! However fancy iPhones and Apple OS might be, Android still owns about 70% of the market. So what's the correct logo? This one here. I know. Switching colors is a hard game, but you see it so often that you can just trust your instincts to pick the right one. Yes, this one right here. You got it. What's the correct Walmart to go shopping at? Can't confuse this one with anything else. What's the correct logo here? Here it is. Amazon started out as a garage bookstore in the 90s. Now it sells almost everything, and everyone knows it. So can you find the correct logo? It's this one. What's the correct Huawei logo? This one right here. The ancient Olympic Games were staged in Olympia, but the first modern ones were held in 1896 in Athens, Greece. This one's tough. What's the correct logo? This is the one. The voice, left or right? What do you say? It's the right one. Snickers is the best-selling candy bar in the world. What's the correct logo? This one here. eBay often helps you out, but can you find its correct logo? Yeah, it's right here. What do you say about this one? 7-Eleven? Here it is, of course. Paramount gave us so many cool movies, and you've seen their logo hundreds of times. Not for too long, though. Was it enough for you to spot the correct one? This is the one. There's just one mountain. Can you find the correct Puma logo? That's the one. What about Adobe? Can you spot it? It's right here. Here comes a trickier one. What do you gotta say? Gotcha. It's this one. Whether you're a FIFA kind of person or the Sims kind of person, you sure have something to thank Electronic Arts for. What's the correct logo, by the way? This is the one. Skoda is a Czech company, and at first they were producing bikes. Now they make cars as well. What's the correct logo? Here it is. Shazam helped you find that cool song so many times, but do you remember their logo? Here it is. Here comes your language study buddy, Duolingo. What's the correct logo here? It's this one. Google Drive is up next. You use it all the time. Just trust your gut. That's the one. Can you spot the correct Flickr logo? Here it is. Hasbro was founded in Rhode Island by three brothers in 1923. At first, they were selling textile remnants. Now, they sell toys and games. What's the correct logo? It's this one. Your Uber is here. Make sure to pick the right one. Here it is. The game is getting wild. Sorry. If you don't know, just try to guess. This is the one. Even if you're not a hardcore Minecraft player, you must know because it's just too popular. Can you find the right logo? It's this one. What's the correct NBC logo? Yeah, it's the one on the right. What about Levi's? This is the one. What's the logo of The Incredibles? Yeah, from that cool Pixar movie. What's the correct logo? This one. You're my hero. What about the logo of Captain America? Which one is correct? Yeah, this is the one. Okay, the last one for today. Show me the true Pandora. Yes, here it is. Great job.